Okay, here we go. We are back in business. And there's no sound for some odd reason. There we go, that fixed it. Right, hello everybody, welcome to the Racers Driving League for Season 13, round number 16 of the Championship. It's the Italian Grand Prix here at the Monza Circuit. We've got just a few minutes left in qualifying. We've had technical difficulties throughout the evening so far, but I finally got them fixed and we are ready to go for racing here at the Temple of Speed. It's Halloween tonight, so happy Halloween to anyone celebrating. The way we celebrate tonight with a brilliant race that we should be treated to this evening. As of right now, Che Oliver sits on pole position over Salway Blaze, who sits just a tenth or so behind him on that front row. And no sign of Landlord tonight, so it's a big opportunity for Blaze to further expand that lead in the Drivers' Championship as he goes toe-to-toe with the McLaren driver once again after their tussle over the course of the previous race in Zandvoort. C110P fan, last week's winner, currently running in third place. He sits third in the championship, has a huge opportunity. If something goes wrong with Blaze, he could genuinely turn the championship into a 3-horse race. So that would be very, very exciting. Got two cars already out qualifying. BJ Van Leeuwen, who set a time before going out, and JB, who unfortunately crashed on what I'm assuming was his first qualifying run. Wardy also retiring now, the third driver out. That's the he's driving the Williams tonight. Of course, today was the sport update, so you get to see all of the liveries as they are in real life now, nice and fresh. They all look spot on. So I'm looking forward to seeing them in action tonight. Like I say, it's a few more minutes left to go in qualifying. We're just in that last little period where we're waiting for those last couple of drivers to go out in the final runs. We've got two of them out on the track right now. It's Huggy Bear and Fergus. Huggy Bear's, I thought he was going to the pits for a moment, but he's not. It's going to be a brilliant tow for Fergus down the main straight here as they both start their laps. Huggy moves over to the left-hand side, allowing Fergus through, so he needs to try and get a tow throughout the rest of the lap. He's got to catch up. Huggy quite slow there, so I think he might be waiting. We've still got a bit of time left to go in this session, so plenty of time to go for another run for those drivers who are still waiting. Majority of them in the pits, only two cars out on the racetrack, being the Haas and the McLaren. Lycon in the Alpine now out of the pit lane from fourth place on the grid as it stands. Of course, stepping in for Landlord tonight and doing a brilliant job so far. 1 minute 19.8 is best effort. Plenty of time to try and get himself onto the front row of the grid. So we'll just have to see what he can do. Here is Lycon making his way around. Of course, only on the out lap at the moment. Fergus coming to the final corner. Huggy Bear just going through Parabolica once again and coming towards the line. It's going to be an improvement for Fergus. He goes 7th fastest there, and Huggy comes over the line. He backed off considerably at the start, so I think he'll be going again this time around. This time he's got a nice clean patch of track there in front of him. Salway Blaze coming out just behind Fergus. Waiting for Che Oliver to come out of the pit lane. We're looking to try and challenge the Alpine and the championship leader. Blaze slowing there, causing a yellow flag. Yeah, quite a dry patch on the track, not much happening. There's PJ Khaled on his out lap here in the other Haas. Let's see if he's already got one up on his teammate by about just under 2 seconds as it stands. Huggy, though, is weaving massively down that straight there, going towards the Ascari chicane. Huggy now ridiculously slow there, letting the Alpine through, who's on an outlap, so there's really no point doing that. And Che Oliver on his outlap as well. We've reached the final 2 minutes of this session, and now we're just waiting to see who will make that final shot for pole position. Will Che Oliver hold on to it? He's got a 10th or so on Blaze here. We're going to try and change that with this lap. He's got 2 opportunities at maximum. Goes towards turn number 1. Good run so far. Nice stuff, those first couple of corners now. Through the Curva Grande. Turn number 3. And charging towards the next chicane. Been aggressive on the brakes with that. It's a brilliant first sector though. Let's see if he can keep it up over the rest of the lap. He's coming towards the second DRS zone. He's backed off by a considerable amount here. Let's get himself back up to speed here with the DRS now in his possession. Coming towards that second sector split. I think he'll probably be down by a second perhaps. And yes, he was 2.6. So he's going to rely on that last run. He's validated now, so lap over for him regardless. Che Oliver now starting his lap. This will be his only attempt at a time. Can the 2 Haas cars make it back round in time to have another chance? Curtis Shepard over the line there in the Mercedes. Towards turn 1. Going over the curbs there. Oh, that was very close. A bit of a bobble there. Ericsson crashes at the exit of one of the 2 Lesmos. Let's get to one of the Alpha Tauris. C110P fans coming through that turn now. So that's not a nice looking shunt there for Ericsson. Aston Martin out of qualifying. Blaze down in sector 1 by half a tenth. Che Oliver through the last corner now and up by 300 of a second. 2 more cars out. Retiring in the pit lane. Checkered flag's now fallen. Che Oliver's the first to cross it. He goes for even faster by 2 tenths now. He increased his lead over Blaze in second place. He's got it all to do now in this second and final sector if he wants to chance at pole position. Now he's managed to improve his time by a bit more now. So be very careful not to invalidate through the Ascari chicane. He's done just that. Great stuff here so far. C110P fan goes second. Blaze now knocked off the front row. The championship leader doing everything in his power now to try and get himself back up into the top 2 and preferably on pole position. Websy over the line goes 5th fastest for Ferrari. Brilliant stuff from him there. It's wide from Blaze. We've got an Alfa Romeo round in Parabolica. That's Dan. Blaze into the pits. His run's over. He'll start from 3rd. Alvar also around. Dan charging towards the line now. No improvement for him, and there'll be no improvement from Alvar either. Who sides off into the pit lane. So it's Che Oliver then for McLaren on pole for the Italian Grand Prix. Another hope to try and take the first victory in the RDL that has eluded him multiple times this season, including just last week. So brilliant stuff there. Alvar just waiting for him to enter his pit box and we'll call it a day in terms of qualifying. He improved by a tenth and a half, did Oliver, on that last run. So very, very impressive. He'll line up alongside last week's winner, C110P fan, on the front row and attempt to, as I say, win for the first time in the Racers Driving League. Let's have the next hour or so, see if he can pull it off. So there's your starting order then for the race itself. Oliver on pole position, C110P fan second. Blaze down there in 3rd alongside his teammate Lycon in 4th. Websy 5th, brilliant qualifying for the Ferrari man. And it's Iwaldi 6th, Ericsson 7th, Fergus 8th, Curtis 9th and Alvar in 10th. And it's PJ Coward 11th, BJ 12th, Courtney Goblin 13th, Paris 14th, Dan 15th, JB 16th and Huggy Bear got disqualified starting from 17th. So there we go then, that is your starting order for the race. Halloween tonight, will there be any scares in the pack? I'll have to find out in a few moments time when we get underway. So we'll be back with you in a bit. So here we go then, welcome back to the Italian Grand Prix, the host of round number 16 of the Racers Driving League Season 13. Looking forward to getting this one underway. It's quite an exciting race last time out, and for what we saw in qualifying, it was also very entertaining. It's a slightly smaller grid tonight, just 17 drivers in the order, and leading them to turn one will be Che Oliver. I've had word that Websy has been instructed to pull off in the first sector. He starts 5th, so everyone needs to be careful of him as he goes through, or as they go through past him. He needs to pull off in a safe place at the first sector to let everybody through. So it's only a few moments' time before we get underway for the start of the race itself. There's a chance tonight with the absence of Salve Landlord. If things go wrong for Blaze and C110P fan takes away the victory, there's a genuine chance that this championship turns into a 3-horse race. Che Oliver last week finally managed to break that 100-point mark. He still sits 82 points behind in the championship. 30 seconds to go now until the start of the race itself. Of course, Alpine still pulling away in the Constructors' Championship, or they were pulling away in the Drivers' Championship. Not so much anymore. Things have really fallen apart for them in recent races, and the rest of the pack have managed to close up a little bit on them. So perhaps the Drivers' Championship might not be over yet, as the battle between Blaze and Landlord continues on, and C110P fan and Che Oliver looks to chase them down. So here we go now for the formation lap to get this one underway.
Lap gets underway and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out.
So it's looking like both mediums and hard tyres being used, and even more or less an even split between the two. And here is Che Oliver leading the pack back towards the line. There is your predicted pit stop strategy on the bottom of your screen. We won't be looking at the soft tyres much today, short of a safety car, which is definitely not out of the realm of possibility. There are the top 3 for you. Che Oliver, C110P fan, and the championship leader Salve Blaze, who's got his teammate Lycon alongside him. No Landlord tonight. The 17 cars line up on the back of the grid. The last of them being Dan in the Alfa Romeo. Here we go now. 5 red lights waiting to come on now for the start of the race. And I'm hoping that we don't have the same issue that happened earlier on in the season where the lights just chose not to come on. And I'm thinking we are, based on the messages I'm seeing in the chat there. Oh, here we go. I'm seeing the lights now, but JB's left. I'm thinking we may have a restart. And yep, that is absolute chaos. What on earth? I'm thinking we may have a restart here. People leaving the session, right, we'll call it there. So there's be just to have to pause things around for technical difficulties. We're back with you as soon as we can. No idea what's just happened there. Alright, here we go again now. We're getting ready for the second attempt at the start of round 16 of the Racers Driving League Season 13, the Italian Grand Prix at the Monza circuit. Of course, it's been a bit of a hectic night for us so far. Of course, I had issues in over the course of qualifying, which we had to sort out, which clearly restarted the game. And, of course, we've just had that first attempt at the start. Hopefully this time we'll see some lights on the board. I'll be able to get to the racing. It shouldn't be too much longer now before the drivers start running up and we get to the action. Again, a reminder of the Drivers' Championship. It's a 17-point lead that Salvo Blaze holds over his teammate Landlord, who isn't here tonight. He's been replaced by Lycon in the Alpine. C1 Tempifa, after last week's victory, rolls off from second, but sits third in the championship. 153 points to Blaze's 182. And Che Oliver crossed the 100-point border last week. And he's 82 points back, but anything can still happen. If you can take a victory, that will really help him in his stride. Especially if things go wrong for Fan and and Blaze tonight.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out.
So here comes Che Oliver then leading the pack to the start. Coming out to the grid, there's the podium in the background there. Who will be standing atop it at the end of the 27 laps of racing here at the Temple of Speed? There's the top three lining up on the grid. Oliver, Fan, Championship leader Blaze, his temporary teammate Lycon alongside him. Webbsy there in 16th. No Dong has to worry about moving over to the side. And Huggy Bear taking up the last spot on the grid. Let's go to 5 red lights now for the Italian Grand Prix, round 16 of the championship. Lights out, foot to the floor, go, go, go. Great getaway from Oliver compared to Blaze. And he moves right up to cover the AlphaTauri as they charge down towards that first corner for the first time. In towards turn number 1. No challenges. A bit of contact there. Blaze almost getting hit in the back by Lycon. Fan's gone off the track here. No penalty for him. He's slowed up considerably. He's going to lose a lot of spots here. Not the best of starts from him. He's down to P8. Things already going wrong for the AlphaTauri. Gets challenged by Fergus, the teammate of the race leader, who's currently pulled away to 6/10 over Blaze in second, and it's Lycon back there in third place. There goes Fan, still on the inside of Ferguson to go into the chicane, but he's cut the chicane off there. He's gone around the outside of PJ Callard. He's made it work, and there's contact in the back, and that is not quite sure who that is. That's the other AlphaTauri BJ. So poor start for those AlphaTauri cars. One of them down to P7, the other one back in the pack, and contact further back, and that's Alpha, who's already out of the race at the exit or the entrance, sorry, of the second Lesmo, and the virtual safety car already deployed. So a crazy start here. And Che Oliver leads the way early on. He's already pulled out a 1 second advantage over the championship leader. Could this be the day that Che Oliver gets the victory? The full safety car now has been deployed. Well, everyone on medium and hards here, yet to have done a single lap on them. I'm not thinking that strategy will change. I just don't think we see it into the pits. But down to 16 cars already on the opening lap. Che Oliver will lead them through Parabolica for the first time. Blaze coming, or those are coming to the pits there. He's almost essentially faked me there. McLaren leading the 2 Alpines over the line to complete the first lap. Any takers in the pits? No chance. Everyone's staying out. Apart from BJ, who comes in to repair that end plate. It's a good thing in his case it's a full safety car. Otherwise he may have lost out hugely in time. Fresh set of medium tyres now go on the car, as well as a new front wing for the AlphaTauri driver, who now sits down in P16. Let's have a look at position change here, speaking of those positions. The biggest gainer from the opening lap has to be JB, who's already up into the points after a podium finish last week. He's going to try and continue that good form with another point scoring result. He's currently gained 5 places. Close to him, Huggy Bear's gained 4 off the line. BJ has obviously lost the most places with 5, and the second most places lost has to be Steel and Tempe Fan. He's lost 4. Che Oliver then leads the way. I shouldn't be too long before we go back to racing. I don't think it'll be this lap. I think we still have to wait for BJ to catch up They've already gone over the split unless he catches up quickly. Which I don't think he will, as he's got to take these corners nice and carefully in order to avoid any more damage. And we'll get back to racing on lap number 4. Alvar now leaving the session, the first retiree of the night. They come back towards the line at a much slower pace this time to complete the second lap. Again, I thought I saw Blaze going lower onto the track to try and potentially fake someone else into pitting under the safety car. No such luck. At that rate, just weaving around. I could very easily be wrong. His focus will be on C110P fan, who's down in 6th place now. Has some work to do in order to try and get himself further up front once we get back to racing, which will definitely be on this next lap. Provided that BJ catches up this last little bit. There's JB in the points, just behind his teammate in 9th place, Curtis. The Alpines, despite that being down one driver in their main lineup, still have a brilliant chance to score points. A double podium could definitely be on the cards. However, I would think I hate to jinx him, but I would think the favourite is this driver in the McLaren here, Che Oliver. As I say, he's had a brilliant season so far, 4th in the championship, but lacking those race victories to really put himself up in the running order. A win here could be a big boost to his momentum in the late stages of this season. As they come towards Ascari for the 3rd time now. There is the message safety car in this lap. Now Oliver, will he look to back everyone up and try and go through Parabolica to get this race back underway? Back up the 2 Alpines there. Curtis Shepard, 5-second penalty with PJ Khaled. I'm not sure what's happened there, considering Curtis is that far back. Oliver's going now. He may have made this work quite well, to be honest. He's really pulled away out of Parabolica to about 4 tenths or so as he's back underway for lap number 4. The top 3 have jumped out. Here comes Wardy trying to avenge his teammate by potentially making a move on Ericsson to turn 1 as JB already getting past Curtis on the charge to that first corner. Be very risky from Wardy to try and pull that one off. No chance. He sticks in behind the Aston Martin, tucks back into line. Oliver leads them, then Blaze in 2nd, Lycon in 3rd. About a second or so covering them as it stands. Here comes Paris. He's trying to challenge the 2 Mercedes cars. Curtis, the first one on his radar. Silveraro and the Bull go side by side into the chicane. Paris ducks out. Oh, and there's contact. And I very nearly thought that Paris was going to turn Curtis there. And there goes Courtney Goblin fighting his way through on the inside to push himself up into P11. Brilliant move there from the Ferrari, taking advantage of the situation. And around goes Hoggy Bear behind them. The Hash driver around. No damage done to that white and red machine. He keeps on going here. But a crucial amount of time lost early on in this Grand Prix. Courtney Goblin, though, brilliant move to take advantage of the situation for Paris T32. He struggled there, but he goes a bit deep there, off into the gravel. Keeps the car rolling, no penalty for him. He slots right back into line. He'll be chasing Curtis on the run into that final corner. Into Parabolica, he's got a nose in. He's on the inside. Che sets the fastest lap of the race. Oh, and there goes Courtney on the inside, and he's dropped back here. Curtis and Paris now right with him. They go 3 wide down the main straight. Could Websy try anything from further back? Yellow flag, sector 3. Unsure as to that's what Huggy Bear has gone around again for the 2nd time, and that's unfortunate. We have to keep going. Paris now up into the points. Connie Gum drops back a place. Curtis trying to challenge once again. He's lost 3 places so far. It's really allowed JB and the rest of the pack in front of him to get away. And speaking of getting away, Oliver's done just that. He's pulled out almost a 2nd over our championship leader Blaze, and Lycon a 2nd back from his teammate in 3rd. It's 2 back to Ericsson, who's got half a second on C110P fan in 5th. Curtis right in the back of Websy in the Ferrari here. He was looking to make a comeback of sorts. After that 5th place qualifying, it's evident that Ferrari is insanely fast. And should things go his way today, he could be looking at a higher points finish based on what we've seen early on in this race. Curtis Shepard, the only driver on the track right now with a penalty for contact with PJ Khaled just before the restart. As for Khaled himself, he runs up there in the 8th spot. Charlo sets the fastest lap once more. And the DRS being able for the first time today here on lap number 6. And Blaze now pulled himself back into range to take advantage of that when they make their way out of the Lesmos later in the lap. And Huggy Bear goes around again. Once again putting the Haas on the wall. And I think he's got away with it once more. No damage from what I can see on that Haas machine, as he almost does a bit of a pirouette there. Coming off the wall and looking to get himself going before the rundowns Parabolica. Back up front though, Blaze really closing in on the McLaren. He's brought that gap down to half a second already. Blaze, the kind of driver capable of pulling pace like this out of the bag just like that. Got to be very careful. He's not the kind of driver you want to see behind you in the late stages of a race. So it's good for Oliver seeing him early on. Of course, think back to last week. These two made contact on the second lap, and that sent Oliver near enough to the back of the pack and forced an incredible fight back, which came to an end and left him with a 9th place finish overall after the steward's report being dished out. Blaze on the chase, even without the DRS, has got an excellent toe on the runs Parabolica. He won't get the move done this time. He'll stick right there in line and wait for the exit of the corner. Yellow flag further back. And who is that for? And that's PJ Khaled, and the other Haas has got around. And the safety car deployed again. Blaze dives off into the pit lane. And that is brilliant luck for Oliver, who may have just been taken on the main straight. But he stayed out here. It might be the case of him just missing the pit lane, didn't quite get enough time to react. Or it might be the case of him actually not wanting to pit. But it looks like PJ Khaled has brought out the safety car for the second time today. He's still running in the 15th spot. Let's give Huggy Bear an opportunity to catch back up. We're seeing a lot of drivers making their first stops. 7 to go, crucially staying out. And I'm assuming those 7, or some of those 7 are on half the, 4 of the 7 are on mediums and 3 of them are on hards. The highest of those hard tire runners being Ericsson, who sits there on the track without an end plate on his car. So that could be crucial. He may have to pit to repair that. Oliver's pulled out a massive gap. Courtney Goblin drives the penalty for speeding under the safety car. And that is not good for the Ferrari, who's exceeded the delta just a bit too much. Huggy Bear now into the pits, looking to bolt on what looks to be a fresh set of hard tyres for the end of the race. You can definitely make those last 20 laps, I do reckon. Of course, Monza and Tyre go together quite well as Oliver makes his way into the pits for the first time today. He's got about a 10-second advantage over Ericsson, who should be pitting to repair that end plate. And here he comes, and Wardy also joining him. JB slowing up here to make the delta. He's coming to the pit. I should think all those 7 are coming into the pit. I know Paris stays out, and Websy's going to stay with him. And BJ also staying out. 3 cars still on the racetrack yet to make their first stops. But as for these 4, it's going to be hard tyres, I should assume, for all of them. Ericsson on to another set of medium tyres. Oliver onto the hards, and he comes out in front of Blaze. That 1 lap extra has helped him maintain the lead. It's coming against a bunch of drivers with worn tyres early on. And it's the newly modified Red Bull of Paris T32, a very striking livery indeed on that Red Bull, who leads the way. The Red Bull, thanks to the Sport livery update today, now a lot darker. The blue more or less corrected. You don't see a brilliant load of changes, but they changed it, but they've changed them enough for them to look a lot more accurate to what they do in real life, and that's something we can always respect. See change to the Aston Martin particularly. It's mainly to a lot of associate sponsors. Because Mercedes looks quite nice as well. So all 16 cars. So getting back into that long line we'll get back to racing. I think it'll be either on lap 10 or 11. Most likely lap 11, depending on how quickly Dan, Huggy, Curtis and PJ all catch up. So BJ up into 3rd place now. Look at the place gains for these guys. Paris gained 12, Websy's gained 14 and BJ's gained 8. So of course they will all lose those places, no doubt, when they come into the pits short of another safety car. BJ's made his first stop, so he's okay on that front. He can run those mediums for as long as he likes. But Paris and Websy yet to make those first stops. So we'll have to see how strategy plays into the hands of the Red Bull and the Ferrari drivers. So just waiting now. I'm thinking we'll be getting going on lap number 11 then, if that's the case, because we'll be going one more lap at least under this safety car. So there's your running order on the left hand side. Che Oliver in a net first place, and provided there are no issues on this restart, should take the lead without a problem. However, I dare say that all three of these top 3 runners were giving him a brilliant fight. Across the line for lap number 10 now. 18 laps to go. Paris 232 will lead the pack back for the restart. Dan back into the pit lane here. Fresh, or look, what looks to be a somewhat used set of mediums going onto the car. He's back out on the racetrack. Again, we've only lost one car from this race. That car being the out of our machine. That's the Williams. One of the two is still on the racetrack. That one being Iwardy there in the 6th position. Looking forward to seeing what he can do for the rest of the race. 32 points to his name. One more than his teammate this season. Oh, I can disconnect my controller. 1 second. Here we go now. Safety car coming in this lap. So, Paris will lead them back for the restart. But when does he choose to go? Oliver chose to go for it at the exit, or the entrance, sorry, of Parabolica. And he did make it work a little bit. 4/10 lead he developed at the line over the Saudi Blaze machine behind him. Now let's see where Paris goes. Does he go earlier or later? We'll have to wait and see here. It's going to be very entertaining to see what he does in the start. And he's gone again at the entrance to Parabolica, but he's made it work here. Actually, no, he hasn't. He's backed them all back up. And he's sold Websy a dummy there. And there's already a yellow further back. Never mind, green flag back out. Oliver already passed 2 cars and might go for 3 here at turn 1. There he goes to the inside. It's going to be tight to those first 2 corners. Red Bull v McLaren. Oh, a bit of a skid there from Oliver. And that's going to allow Paris to hold on to the lead. Oliver going back around the outside now and going to take the lead. But here comes BJ on the inside. It's going to be very tight between the two. Both give each other space. Nice and easy. Oh, there goes BJ and he takes Paris around. And he's brought Salve Blaze with him. The championship leader now out of the points paying places. Che Oliver back up into the lead. And Paris obviously getting the worst of it. In terms of damage, none done to the car by the looks of it. We got away with that brilliantly. But to my knowledge, Blaze does have damage. Yes, and that is his left end plate gone. Oh, and there goes Curtis around behind them at the exit of Ascari. He may have got on the curb there. I just got too much on the throttle on the exit. Oliver leads them. Websy second. BJ still third. Lycon there in fourth. He'll be looking to try and take over the mantle for his teammate. C110P fan back there in sixth. Being challenged by both Wardy and Ericsson. He's challenging Wardy, but Ericsson's challenging both of them. He's been in the middle here on the run towards that first corner. Wardy backs out. Smart thing to do. Ericsson on the inside. And C110P fan will have the inside for turn number 2. Ericsson gets special traction. That's a brilliant exit from the Aston Martin. He'll take away 5th place. He's about a second back from Lycon in 4th. He's going to try and challenge BJ and Websy and might try and go for a tussle for that second spot. All the while allowing Oliver on those fresh, those fresher hard tyres on that McLaren to pull out to a 1.3 second lead. Today is his day. I don't think he'll be letting anyone stop him. With Blaze now down the order. And in terms of the race lead out the picture, oh, there's contact! And there goes both Huggy and Blaze. Yellow flags deployed. Oh, that was very tight from Curtis, who just managed to squeeze through. And that's the second time this season Blaze has rejoined when there's cars still on the track. When he's thought he's clear, but not the case. The yellow flags about to be cleared as soon as Huggy Bear makes his way through. There we go. All of a sudden, this task a lot more difficult for Salve Blaze, who sits in 15th place. No front wing. DRS now enabled. Okay, back to it up front. Back to business. Connie Goblin into the pit lane here. Serving that drive-through penalty that he got earlier on. 5 seconds now. What's been given to Lycon. And Blaze into the pits now to repair that front wing. Not looking good for the championship leader. And this will be brilliant for C110P fan. If he can gain some more places, could really push himself up into that championship fight. A podium finish would be enough for him to overtake Landlord in the championship. That, or finish 4th and take fastest lap. That put him 1 point clear of one of the Alpine cars. Websy 1.4 behind Oliver now. BJ on the DRS. There they go. Good exit from both cars here. BJ closing in that little bit by little bit. Yellow flag for the back, and that is Blaze around again. It is falling. This race is falling down the kitchen sink for the championship leaders. You see Oliver emerge there just in the distance from the last corner. Let's be where BJ tries to make his move. No battery usage at the moment. He's going to look to the inside as they run towards that first turn. He's going to have the foot on Websy, who's still got a nose in there. But BJ clears him at the first corner. Brilliant move from the AlphaTauri. And Lycon still right there in the fight. It's not over for him either. He shall push himself up into the podium to get some points for Alpine. Wardy and JB chasing Fergus for that 8th spot. Yellow flag, sector 3. That's Blaze for the 3rd time. Spinning out the exit of the Ascari chicane. He's always a lap behind at this point. Che Oliver, 13.5 laps away from winning. However, anything can still change. And if Blaze was to cause a safety car of some kind through crashing, then that would definitely be potentially a dent to the McLaren driver's chances. to my knowledge, this would be the first victory for a PC driver in the league, provided that Oliver can bring it home. Of course, crossplay, newly added for this season in the Racers Driving League. It's the first time it's been brought into the F1 game, opens up a lot of possibilities. Xbox and PC drivers racing together in this league. We're yet to see any appearances from any PlayStation drivers. I should think we'll see some soon in the not too distant future. But Oliver, 2 seconds now for BJ in second place and Websy in third, but he's got Lycon all over him, hounding him for that last podium position. And there it is, insult to injury for Selway Blaze. 3-second time penalty for track limits warnings. Although he has got to try and finish the race, it wouldn't do for him to just retire in the pit lane, especially in the position he's in as the car comes back out into the track. Paris T32 out of the race though. At the exit, the second Lesmo, and the safety car deployed for the third time. Now, strategy. What will be changed? I should think that BJ and Websy will come into the pits now. It's the perfect time for them. Potentially box for the first time today. Well, BJ's already boxed. Lycon, Ericsson, Fan, the majority of drivers coming into the pit lane. There's been an opportunity for Blaze to close up the gap. However, he can't stay on those soft tyres. He'll need to pit. It's now a 1-2 for McLaren as Fergus stays out and Oliver now leads the way. So 1-2, as I say, for the two McLarens. Puggy Bear out the pits. And Blaze might get the jump on him potentially. I shouldn't think he will. It'll be very tight between the two. Never mind. There goes Blaze up into P14. Two cars now out of the race. The other one being Paris T32 in the Red Bull, who led away from the restart earlier on. And now finds himself out of the race. And a safety car that just might bring Selway Blaze back into the occasion. Into the equation. There we go, there's my words. Dan flying past to go into the pit lane here. A 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. In theory, he could have stayed where he was until the pit lane. Potential chance I could get removed later on in the race, or later on in the week. But for now, 5-second penalty he's got to serve. It's a good thing he can serve it now. Onto a set of soft tyres. Just might go 10 laps, however, I doubt they'll be able to go all that way without dropping off. The pack all catching up now. We're waiting mainly on Blaze and Huggy, who could theoretically potentially catch it up to the pack by the time we get back to racing. Alright, here we go. We're just waiting now on 4 more cars to catch up to the back of the pack. I'm thinking we're getting going in time. So it will be the 2 McLarens leading us back to the restart. And I should think those tyres will go to the end of the race, but only just. It'll be very tight, however. They spent a good few laps under the safety car. So that might help their case just a little bit. Lap 18. Curtis and Cotney both into the pit lane. Blaze joining now to dump those soft tyres. Huggy Bear will no doubt stay out. He's on fresh mediums. A lot of the rest pack his tyres though, 1 lap fresher. Blaze onto all 3 cars onto a fresh set of soft tyres. So they go all in here at the last, what could be the last restart, and simply just hope. It's been a very exciting Italian Grand Prix, unfortunately marred by a safety car so far. Of course, the first one for Alvar crashing on the opening lap. Another one for Huggy Bear's incident earlier on, spinning out by himself. And a third now for Paris T32, crashing at the exit of the second Lesmo. Those corners catching a number of drivers out so far today. Of course, you saw Blaze spinning with Huggy earlier on in the race. And the 3 cars in the back now joining up. Tail end of the line. As we'll get back to racing in just a matter of moments. Safety car in this lap. There's the message. The 2 McLarens on aging hard tyres will lead a field consisting, or a field being tailed or led by BJ, Websy, Ericsson and C110P fan back to the green flag with 9 laps to go in this Italian Grand Prix. Could we see a McLaren 1-2 in the Racers Driving League? It's all to play for here. Anyone could still win this race. The equation could change completely. And I doubt that'd be the way Oliver likes it. He's not getting going just yet. This time he's learned his lesson. And there we go. He's got away a little bit. And there goes Fergus. Fergus loses his front wing through Parabolica on the restart and forced to the back of the pack. Yellow flags already. Green flag back out up front. Oliver's got a second already, but I don't think they even reached the first corner. BJ and Websy going dueling. At turn 1, there's contact and around goes Websy. There's a big pile up there at turn number 1. And there's shockingly no safety car for that. Sammy Blaze with no front wing. And that could be his race over for good. What on earth happened there? Huggy Bear, fresh front wing. Sammy Blaze, 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. 8 seconds now to his name. The race has gone from bad to worst. It looked to have a bit of light in it. And now, back into it. Fergus out of the race. Che Oliver leads by 7/10 over BJ. Ericsson 4 seconds back there in third. And that AlphaTauri driver is on a mission. He'll be within DRS range, provided he can hold on to that 1 second range, that gap for the next lap. Blaze staying out. I don't believe it. Sammy Blaze, despite having 0 front wing, is staying on the racetrack. He is not giving up. Just shows what extent he'll go to keep the championship lead. It looks like he's driving fine, to be fair. Took turn 1 beautifully. 3-car race now. JB there in 4th place, potentially in position to try and sneak another podium if he can. If something goes wrong with the leaders. And as expected, BJ closing in. He's brought the gap now down to within 7/10, almost within 5. Sorry, within 6. Lycon, the lead of the drivers on the softs. It still could be good points for Alpine. The 0 front wing is not going to be helping Blaze's approach. Definitely helping those tyres, so we're looking up a lot more. JB, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That won't help his chances of the podium. Only half a second in front of those soft tyre runners. And up front, as the two leaders exit Parabolica, it's going to be a straight out dogfight for the checkered flag, provided nothing gets in their way. DRS now deployed. And could this be the moment that BJ is waiting for? Into turn 1. It's a repeat of the 2020 Italian Grand Prix, but reversed slightly. Carlos Sainz took on Pierre Gasly. It was Gasly and the AlphaTauri who emerged victorious. And we've got a weird sort of twisted repeat of that. McLaren and Chaloa holding off the AlphaTauri of BJ, but for how long can he do it? And Aston Martin, which in 2020 was a Racing Point, sits in third. Ericsson currently occupying the final podium place. And Blaze now up to 6th place. Despite having no front wing, he's still driving and still gaining time. It's unbelievable stuff what we're seeing here as he continues on. He's not making too many mistakes here. He's got that 8-second penalty to worry about. So I shouldn't think he'll score high points today. As Websy passing Wardy now. As the pair race into the Ascari chicane once more. Lycon looking to the outside of JB. As off the final corner. Here come the leaders. 6 laps to go. Chandler using every last bit of his whatever battery he's got to try and hold off the AlphaTauri. He's going to force him the long way round, but if BJ can get clear of him by the time they reach turn 1. Oliver very late on the brakes there. Oh, a bit of contact between the two. BJ emerges with the lead. It's not over yet though. Oliver's still right there behind him. Those tyres, those hard tyres are not dead yet. He's going to look back to the inside, moves back into line. And Blaze now up to 4th. He's doing a spectacular job here. C110P fan out of the points in 13th after that incident a couple of laps ago at turn 1 as PJ Khaled sets the fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 21.5. So Oliver closing back in on BJ. He really lost out of those last few corners. Blaze, I'm not sure what's going on. He's got no front wing for all intents and purposes. He should have been dead and buried a few laps ago. Yet here he is in 4th place. If something goes wrong with one of these 3 podium runners, then Blaze will be right up there on the podium with no front wing on the car. The question is, will Lycon try and challenge him? Does Oliver have anything left in the tank for BJ? He's got plenty of battery. Yellow flag, sector 3. And that is down in the Alfa Romeo as Oliver looks to the outside. And there's contact between the two. Oliver's forced to cut the chicane. As Dan gets himself going again. BJ still leads by about 3/10 or so. Blaze now has Lycon back in front of him. However, those soft tyres will start to hit the cliff very shortly. BJ will have done about 11 laps or so in those mediums by the time we get to the end of the race. As Fan sets the fastest lap. Moves him back up into 12th, make that 11th as he charges past the Haas of PJ Khaled. Blaze now dropping back. JB all over him. Blaze going faster though. BJ getting away bit by little bit. Just 4 laps to go now. But he doesn't have a lot of battery. He doesn't have a lot of battery stored at this stage. Jay Oliver still chasing as further back. Connie Goblin passing JB. The soft tyre Ferrari up into P6 now. Yellow flag, sector 3, and that's PJ Khaled who's gone around. And that's it. And that, I believe that's a safety car. With 3 laps to go, for the 4th time, this safety car is brought out here at Monza. Absolute scenes. The dogfight between BJ and Chelova is now brought to a close. I shouldn't think either one of them want to pit. They want to maintain track position. Because they simply won't wait for everyone in the pack to join up. They'll just get going again with about 2 laps to go. Maybe 1. We'll have to see what happens. Do either one of these drivers choose to pit? Can they afford to pit? BJ looking to fake. Didn't quite work out for him. Oliver didn't buy it for a moment. Now Oliver's got a task ahead of him now to try and pass medium tyre BJ on worn hard tyres with no DRS left in the tank. He'll have only the battery to his advantage. He'll be using all of it, but so will BJ. There's no more DRS in this race, and now there's a car in between the 2 leaders. And as I say that, there goes Huggy Bear. Sorry, there goes PJ Khaled allowing the McLaren I thought he was allowed getting the McLaren back past him, but not going to happen. Ericsson now has an opportunity. Lycon on those worn soft tyres. The safety car has all of a sudden thrown things into chaos. But when we go back to racing again, will they throw the green flag almost immediately, or will we wait 1 more lap to get a 1 lap shootout to check a flag? Both cars now, both the 2 lead cars, more or less with all the ERS they need. And BJ will now lead them, and safety car in this laps. Here we go. 2 more laps to decide who wins this Italian Grand Prix. PJ Khaled allows Oliver through. It'll be most likely these 2 to settle it. Can Ericsson get involved? They're in 3rd place. These 2 do some brilliant synchronized weaving. You love to see it. It would ruin it if someone made contact. Both drivers being very wary of the other. Brilliant spatial awareness. JB at the back of this little pack. Connie Goblin catching up just in time. He's on fresh softs. Comes to Shepherd. 3-second time penalty for track limit warnings. When does BJ go? He's going to want to leave Oliver for dead. If he can do that, then he might have a better chance of winning this race. Oh, he's really got Oliver there. Back underway. 2 more laps to go here at Monza. It's all going to come down to battery management. Blaze there. Still has no front wing on the car. But still desperate to try and finish on the podium. And there goes Lycon on the inside of Ericsson at turn 1. The Alpine driver up into 3rd. BJ now with 6/10 on Oliver. Into the chicane they go. Blaze to the inside of Ericsson. Can get the power down, the move done. Oh, and there goes JB, almost losing the car. Yellow flag, and that is Huggy Bear. It's gone around at Parabolica. Ericsson and Cotley Goblin going at it. Side by side between the 2. And I think the Ferrari's going to get the edge by about half a car length. Wheel to wheel racing. This is brilliant stuff in the late stage here in Italy. Now it's just like about half a second between the 2 race leaders. Oliver, who once again may be letting that first victory in the Racers Driving League slip between his fingers. And again, an AlphaTauri will be sitting on the top step of the podium should things stay how they are. Final lap here at the Italian Grand Prix. Ericsson passing Cotley Goblin. They've paired them side by side with Blaze just in front of them. And Cotley Goblin has it through turn 1. He may have tapped the back of Blaze's car. We saw a bit of a scrolly there, bit from Blaze. Oliver now. Oh, it's not looking good for him. He's got very little battery left. And on a track where the Monza is almost completely made up of straights, you have to hope He can force BJ into some kind of error. They've almost got more or less the same amount. Oh, that's not the nicest of corners there. And there goes Courtney going. Dan's around. Dan's out. Completely uninvolved. Courtney Goblin around though. Half second separating the pair now. It's all going to come down to what happens in Parabolica. But Oliver's has that penalty. So I don't know why I'm talking about it like this. Oliver's evidently going to lose this race thanks to that penalty. Unless he can do anything to stop BJ in this last corner. It's not going to happen. BJ said come off turn 4. Oliver came so desperately close. But BJ is going to win here in Italy. Che Oliver home in second. Also, Lycon takes second overall. Che Oliver third. And Blaze just narrowly holds on to take fourth over the line. But will come home ninth. Incredible finish late on. And the penalty for Che Oliver denying us an excellent finish. And once again though, that first victory eludes him. And he is the bridesmaid once again. BJ wins here in Italy. That'll be a big boost for AlphaTauri in the Constructors' Championship. And with Fan gaining a couple more points now on the 2 championship leaders. Blaze will retain the lead of the Drivers' Championship as expected. However, in terms of that Constructors' Championship, that 120 point gap between Alpine and AlphaTauri squeezed a little bit. Brilliant race. Very, very chaotic. 4 safety cars, including one at the last possible moment. Frustrating for some, brilliant for others, and especially brilliant for BJ, who comes home the winner ahead of Lycon and Che Oliver. Brilliant race from everyone tonight. Hope you all enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed shouting about it. And the reduced safety car that was voted for a couple of weeks ago, perhaps not as reduced as we may have thought, which may just be a result of this game being not as good as it should be. But great racing overall. So BJ then wins the race. Second goes to Lycon. Third to Che Oliver thanks to that penalty. Websy 4th. Ericsson 5th. Great race for Websy to come back from 16th on the grid. Fan 6th. Wardy 7th. JB 8th. Blaze 9th. And Curtis Shepard 10th. And it's Courtney Goblin 11th. Huggy Bear 12th. Dan 13th. PJ Caleb 14th. And Fergus, Paris and Alvar all retiring from the race. So there you have it then. That is the race tonight for the Racers Driving League. We're back with you next week. Same place, same time for the Singapore Grand Prix, which set them an absolute thriller last time. Came to see on Tim P fans' first victory in the RDL. Can he pull it off again and try and close up that championship a little bit more? Will the Alpines have anything to try and stop him? All those questions will be answered next week. Will Che Oliver finally get his victory? We'll have to wait and find out. 7 days time. It's the next Grand Prix, the 7th of November. Just 6 rounds to go in this incredible season, and this championship could still be a maximum if things go horribly wrong for Fan, Blaze and Landlord. It could still be a 4-horse race. But stick around to find out. So we shall see you next time. Make sure to like, share and subscribe for more RDL action. And thank you once again for watching, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye.